In a quiet town named Havenwood stood an old hotel called the Grand Haven. It was known for its antique decor and strange stories. One peculiar thing was a large, ornate mirror in room 303. It was said that the mirror could show the date of your death. The story started with Sarah, a young writer who loved mysteries. She heard about the Grand Haven and the death mirror. Intrigued, she decided to visit. She booked room 303 for a week, eager to see if the stories were true. On her first night, Sarah stood before the mirror. It was an impressive piece with a golden frame and swirling designs. She looked into it, but saw only her reflection. Disappointed, she thought it was just a silly tale. The next day, she met Tom, the hotel's friendly caretaker. He had worked there for many years and knew all the hotel secrets. Sarah asked him about the mirror. Tom became serious. He warned her about the mirror's power, saying it had brought misfortune to those who obsessed over it. Sarah was even more curious now. She spent hours each day staring into the mirror, hoping to see something. Days passed, and nothing happened. She began to doubt the stories, but part of her still hoped one evening. As the sun set, Sarah looked into the mirror again. This time, a date slowly appeared on the mirror's surface. It was a date only a few months away. Sarah gasped, her heart racing. She tried to wipe it off, but the date remained. Sarah was terrified. She couldn't stop thinking about the date. Was it real? Was her life about to end? She decided to investigate the history of the mirror, hoping to find a way to break its curse. Tom told her the mirror had been brought to the hotel by a mysterious traveler many years ago. The traveler claimed it had special powers, but he never explained them. After the traveler left, strange things started happening in the hotel. Guests who looked into the mirror often met tragic ends. Sarah researched old newspaper articles and hotel records. She discovered a pattern. People who saw a date in the mirror often died in accidents or from sudden illnesses. But there were also cases where people lived past the date, seemingly defying the mirror's prediction. Determined to change her fate, Sarah started living her life to the fullest. She spent time with her family, pursued her dreams, and did everything she had always wanted to do. She wanted to make the most of her remaining time. As the date drew closer, Sarah became anxious. She avoided the mirror, trying to forget about the prediction, but it was always in the back of her mind. She talked to Tom, who advised her to stay positive and not let fear control her life on the eve of the predicted date. Sarah felt a strange sense of calm. She realized she had lived a good life and had no regrets. She decided to face the mirror one last time. She stood before it, took a deep breath, and looked into her reflection. The date was still there, glowing faintly. Sarah closed her eyes, accepting her fate. But then, she felt a strange energy in the room. When she opened her eyes, the date on the mirror was changing. The month and day remained the same, but the year was shifting, moving further into the future. Sarah watched in disbelief as the date continued to change, moving years, then decades ahead. Finally, the date stopped. It was far into the future, beyond her lifetime. Sarah was stunned. What had happened? Why had the mirror changed the date? Tom rushed into the room, having sensed a shift in energy. He explained that the mirror didn't predict death. It showed the potential for death, a possible future. But the future was not fixed. It could be changed by one's actions and mindset. Sarah realized that by facing her fear and living her life to the fullest, she had altered her destiny. The mirror had shown her a path, but she had chosen a different one. She had defied the prediction and created her own future. From that day on, Sarah continued to live her life with purpose and joy. She shared her story with others, teaching them that fear could be overcome and that the future is not set in stone. The Grand Haven remained a place of mystery, but it also became a symbol of hope and the power of choice. And the mirror in room 303? It continued to reflect the potential futures of those who dared to look, reminding them that their fate was in their own hands.